Greetings, everyone. It's been a minute. As usual, we are sitting down with StarSpace Chats. This is going to, as we move forward, hopefully be our semi-monthly sit-down, where basically I enjoy the company of someone in our entrepreneurial space here in the state of Oklahoma and really talk to them about where they've been, where they're going, and honestly, like where they are right now. Because as we look at things moving into April of 2021, and we're looking at a brave new world, and honestly, we'll all see where things are going from here on out. We've got people vaccinated, whatever. People got vaccines, and that means that we have people finally meeting in person again. We're still keeping these things remote, but look forward to what could be some actual sit-downs in the future. To introduce myself, if this is your first time here, my name is Jeff Yenzer, if you know me. And I'm the board secretary here at StarSpace46. This series is really meant to highlight those sorts of amazing people that are in our community and the things they do and how we can help them. So this week, I would love to bring on to the stream, as I am now in control this one time. If stuff breaks, it's because our normal stream god, Rodney with Camalti Marketing, he's out today. So I am controlling everything. So I'm sorry. But we'll bring in Doug, and we will sit down and actually have a little bit of a chit chat here. So let me allow Doug onto the stream. Doug, there he is.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too, buddy. How you?
Glad to hear you're vaccinated.
I am. How about you?
I am vaccinated as well. I think you've coined a new term here in this day and age.
I try my best to be an innovator. Okay.
Yeah, you are.
I am.
Can you turn it into an entrepreneurial effort, though?
Ooh, I can make that happen.
Some swag,
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of the first times I'm not wearing the track jacket.
I noticed.
I know. So I went to the voting booth today, as it says I voted, and I just didn't want to look like I was a Russian mobster walking in and, fixing ballots or anything. So I tried to look business professional as I walked into my ballot box and cast my vote for, I think we had state representatives and Board of Education were today.
Yeah.
So it's that whole thing about voting when it's not just a presidential election.
I know. It's, the important place where things actually happen, right? In our local community, it makes a difference right here. So
yeah, pretty much. You know, the things that actually affect you on a day-to-day basis. But
fortunately, my polling place is about a block from my house. So it'll make it nice. I'll head up that way on the way home tonight.
Yeah, I'm out in the burbs, so my polling place is not only near my house, but also a walk-in, vote, walk-out, because it has long been the same voting place, and they're all used to it. So it's a quick experience for me, no lines.
Mine changed 3 years ago, and so people are still a little confused.
Oh, no.
We're getting there.
You'll get there. Yeah. Doug, you're a person I wanted to sit down with for a while and just chit chat because you have such a diverse background that brings you to today, but also you do so many things here in Oklahoma City that I would love people to know more about. So I'd love to start with just where you've been that gets Doug Sorocco to today.
Wow. So what brings us to Doug Sorocco? Can I talk about myself in the third person?
I love it. Would
it work? Kind of like an actor studio kind of, situation here.
Between two ferns.
That would be even better. I've got a plant back there, so we're out of there. We're good. No, I'm a non-native Okie. So I came here, almost, 25 years ago, and moved from downtown Chicago loft living to Guthrie. And I like to say I moved into before Guthrie became the bohemian kind of fantasy land that it is these days. But it was back when it was a one stoplight little town. And that was kind of my introduction to Oklahoma. And certainly, I'm trying to draw some parallels here, of Oklahoma entrepreneurialism, because, here you have a town that literally died overnight. And yet there are restaurants and tours and reenactments and all, the Masonic temple that was really trying hard to kind of stay alive. And I think that's kind of the thread through what I've seen in Oklahoma, certainly, is that desire to kind of do something different in the environment to give it a shot.
That's awesome. And I've been up to Guthrie, and it moved from what it was in the 80s and 90s when I would go there, of being just like this quaint little, maybe a bed and breakfast, but that's about it. And now you go there and it's like a completely different city, just sprang up right from where it had been.
Hey, once you get a Mumford and Sons concert, you can't, there's no telling what's going to happen,
I know that it's just to the moon from there. I mean,
So, fortunately, my wife and I, about 5 years in, we moved to, we picked up a 100-year-old house in the Plaza District back when it was a place that no one in town would want to go to.
I remember.
And so it's been a lot of fun, again, seeing a lot of change and a lot of, good things and bad things. There's always the yin and the yang.
Sure.
But again, just seeing just how much growth and how much ability to make change that we have here in Oklahoma, and certainly in Oklahoma City.
So Doug Sorocco, placemaker, because everywhere you seem to go, it gets better and better. So,
well, heck, if anybody wants me to come into a particular place, just let me know. I'll just sprinkle a little, magic on and everything. But no, that's we're making fun of it and stuff. But I think that's one of the coolest parts of Oklahoma, is that there's all these little untapped places or people or groups that are doing their thing, kind of doing it quietly. And, collectively, it's a pretty big change agent kind of mass. It's kind of impressive to me that an area that has the, kind of the moniker sometimes of, nothing there, quote unquote.
Right.
You can do anything here. I talk to people all the time with ideas or things that they want to try and do. And to a person, I doubt very often they get told, no, you can't do that, or no, you shouldn't do that. It's usually, let me introduce you to 5 people that can help you do whatever you're wanting to do.
Yeah, precisely. I tell people a lot, if you can't be successful in business in Oklahoma City, I don't know if you should be in business. Maybe be an employee, because I don't know if you have the acumen for it, because it's so simple to get things started here, and you have such a great support structure.
Well, and I think people are willing to help you out, right? I think there is an observation, or, people recognize that they, have a duty maybe to give a hand up and help pull people up, but also that, that people are willing to take a shot. They're willing to try something new. And, it was interesting for me is, I kind of jokingly call myself a carpetbagger, because a very, left-leaning Chicagoan moves into a home in the Plaza District that was built and owned by a woman who was the daughter of the Confederacy, like national chairwoman at one point in time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Good old Annabelle Bonaparte's probably rolling over in her grave. But, this carpetbagger, we were in a group for an arts leadership thing. And, there was a question asked, how many people thought it was good or bad to be from Oklahoma? And it was a 50-50 proposition.
Okay.
The 50% who said it was bad were native. 50% who said it was good, almost to a person, said they were from outside the state. And so it was kind of interesting that always that grass is greener someplace else, that wherever you grow up, you always think something is going to be better. But the folks who had kind of come here saw a lot of things, a lot of advantages. And that's certainly what I've found when I've been out around the world, either selling our services as a firm or, doing community type events or nonprofit type things, that being from Oklahoma is a benefit, because frankly, most people around the world have not met an Okie. So it's kind of a unique thing.
Yeah, it is very odd when you go, when you travel abroad to places such as Europe or Central South America, where they are almost taken aback by the fact that just the natural predilection to people from the Midwest is like the default setting is just nice and talkative and just kind of wanting to engage. And they'll be taken aback a bit because either they've heard stereotypes or whatever, or they see people from coasts that are the American idea, and they'll kind of sit there and just question whether or not you are from where you are.
Yeah, they typically, they don't get it sometimes, right?
Yeah. It's like, I'm in the middle of America. But the middle means that you should be more American now. No,
it doesn't work that way.
I'm sorry. Typically. Well, you kind of touched on it, and I'd love to talk, because you are a man that, on top of your professional efforts with your firm, you're very philanthropic, and you kind of mirror those so nicely. So I would like you to kind of talk about what you do professionally with your firm, and then I would really love to dive in a bit on your other extracurriculars, which I think are really what makes Doug, honestly.
Oh. Again, I'm going to tear up here, Jeff. It's from a firm standpoint, my professional life, I'm a lawyer, and I'm a lawyer that deals with ideas and technology, and so everything we do here at Dunlap Codding somehow relates to an idea that somebody's had, whether it's tech and patents or branding or design or music, entertainment. Those are the things that we work with every day, and so we kind of have a different outlook on things. From a normal, law firm, a little bit more, traditional law firm kind of look. And, as part of that, majority or a good significant portion of our revenue comes from outside the state of Oklahoma. So we're always kind of bringing or seeing, I should say, these things that are happening around the country or with our clients or, overseas folks. And so, that was kind of led into the types of people that we interact with every day, or people that have ideas and, aren't afraid to do things with them. And so we needed to kind of align ourselves, just if we want to talk about it professionally or self-servedly, that's the market of people that we work with. And so, that's also the type of people we kind of draw as far as, employees and staff and lawyers and everything like that. So it's, through the theme that runs through our firm is kind of a community-minded theme. And, that's what we try to do, is pull people together in ways that allow unique things happen, right? I've talked to lots of people over time, and I always say it amazes to me, if you put like 2 or more people in a room, what interesting things can happen. And that's how things get started. It's whether the room is my office, the room is an outside, it's a bar, it's a park, coffee shop. It always takes typically 2 people sitting down, and trying to work through a problem. So it's everything that we've done community-wise is trying to create space for people to have those interactions and to sit and, try and see what they can do.
Right. And I mean, it's turned into this, just a spider web of different things that you're into. I walk into a room and then you're there, and it's just, of course, Doug's here.
It's always the thing, right? No good deed goes unpunished, and part of that, that hand up, kind of concept that we see right here that I mentioned earlier is also a hand up into, hey, will you lend a hand? Yes. Right? And, that's typically where I like to be, is more in that organizational, foundational types of steps of making things happen. And, that's a lot more fun to me than, perhaps being the cheerleader for something, or something more outwardly facing.
No, I get it completely. And I mean, your mentorship programs, you've been involved with, pushing the arts, most importantly, as the father of a daughter, toward our women and our young girls. And it really has been heartwarming, the times that I've seen you be you. And it's a different Doug, honestly, when you are kind of surrounded by that level of positivity and that mentorship, you kind of take on this really fun. Is actually one of those people that's 80 years old and just looks like he's in his 40s. Like,
yeah. Are you saying I am 80 and I look 40? Okay, I'll take that.
It's just that level of just like there's always that idea of just the proud grandfather sort of thing. Like they've grown it, they've seen all of these things, and it's a way that even a dad can't look at things yet because they haven't been around.
Sure. I mean, again, it's people that have come up with something that I get the honor or pleasure to work with, right? It's, I don't take credit for any of these things. They're, things that other people have thought we need. And then, occasionally I have some skills or knowledge or abilities that can, help that move forward. And so that's, I always go into, most things I go into is just with the idea of saying, hey, how can I push this along or get a little farther towards an ultimate goal? And that's, that's what's a lot of fun.
Sure. I've often said the phrase, like that idea of once you get to the penthouse, you send the elevator back down. And I long ago, and you exemplified it to me, just as a person, it's so much better to ride the elevator up a bit and then send it down and then hop back on and then ride the elevator up so that you've got a party in the penthouse.
Yeah, I mean, the party in the penthouse, but also the party on the way up. I mean, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, no one ever goes up, right, without people along that journey. And I think too often, maybe we get a little self-important or, forget that very few, if any of us, just are, self-actualized, right? We don't just do whatever we do by ourselves. And that's, my thing that I always try to keep, and I'm not, I'm human. I don't always do the best of job, but is to remember that it's, it's a group effort, right? It takes, people working together, people of goodwill working together towards a noble outcome. And if you can put that together, that's kind of the sweet spot on that elevator.
Oh yeah. That's the magic. You can harness that. That's how everybody succeeds. And that's awesome. I always ask, what's the future look like for you? Like, what does we're coming out?
I'm old, Jeff. I'm crotchety. I'm a almost 51-year-old guy with an 8-year-old daughter. I mean, there is no energy left. There is nothing on the horizon. No, I mean it's I'm one of the things with the firm, obviously, for people who know is we have this community space and. For the last 13 months now, it's been dark. And, for us, we were hosting on average 70 to 80 groups a month in our offices, whether outside, inside, conference rooms and, that kind of energy. So, for us, the pandemic was, obviously a horrendous thing and it touched so many lives in different ways. But one of the most in our face things for us was this, all of a sudden the energy was gone and all of a sudden the excitement and the, that type of thing. And so, really the next big thing for us is getting back to normal.
Right.
I kind of feel that there's a pent up energy right now to kind of go big and create, some new things. We're all talking together in Zoom, but, getting back together again. I mean, I was amazed. I sat in an hour-long kind of strategy session the other day, and we got more accomplished than if we would have sat on the Zoom all day long. And it's because you could see each other. You can get a sense of what people feel, where you can't over electronics. So, next big thing is getting together, getting people talking again, getting people thinking. And certainly celebrating survival and, toasting those who are not with us and remembering them. And, whatever we learn from what's happened, I think we're going to end up in a place that was a painful way to get there or painful to get there. But I have to believe that it wasn't for naught, that something will grow out of this. So.
Yeah, I think we have so many lessons that we can learn and more than anything, optimizations that we can make because we were living life the way that we knew how, not realizing that we were taking so many things for granted. And, the last 13 months, it really it's changed a lot of outlooks, but there's so much to learn coming out of something like this that is a unique opportunity that we should see and realize the power of. And I hope that people do it, because being able to appreciate collaboration when before we were just annoyed that we would have to sit in that meeting
Right.
in the same room. And now we look at it as like, it's a blessing. Like, we're able to do this again. This is so wonderful that we're able to come back together.
Well, and it's, you don't want to say that there's a silver lining or anything like that out of, a terrible situation. But one thing that's, certainly in my life that's come out of it is that, for a year now, I've had my evenings free, from a standpoint that there weren't events, right? There weren't things to have to go to. And, there's a side of me that says I want to protect that now. I've enjoyed kind of being with my family and my kids and having that close knitness that, we all have our lives and our kids are involved in stuff that you lose a little bit. And so I think it's going to have to be this balance, this desire to jump in and all of a sudden, be going, 70 million miles an hour again versus, maybe taking this breath and reestablishing in the face of just, horrible, horrible disease, what really truly matters. So.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And I think that there's really something to be said with finding that new balance and what that can look like and how much it can improve people's lives if they allow it to.
Well, we're going to get a lot of psych books. We're probably going to get a lot of self-help books, So, yeah, I look forward to all the, the armchair kind of philosophers coming up with, what we're all going to become and be this next generation of what, America 3.0 or, I'll do it as me. Doug 2.0, right?
There you go. I'm Yenzer 2.0.
Yenzer 2.0. You went through the fire, you came out.
I did. Yeah. I did. I came out with a bigger beard and a little more disheveled, but hey, I'm out of the thick of it.
I added to the Doug infrastructure, is the way I'm looking at it. I, added some, more structure to the mass and, so that's the way to think about it, I think.
Yes, we refined. Well, my question, and the last one I always ask is, you are very integrated here at StarSpace46. You're a member of our board, but we will still ask, on behalf of Dunlap Codding and on all of the other things that you're doing, how can the StarSpace46 community help you?
What I will always say about the StarSpace46 community is it's a unique thing that what I've seen around the world and the country of, typically people think of it as just a co-working space, but it really is a group of people that have come together of goodwill to kind of be together, right? When you can be anywhere today, why do you want to be there?
Right.
And I think that kind of ethos or esprit de corps, being able to be directed right into some project, some effort that kind of pulls everybody together and makes a mark on the city. I mean, that's what I would say. It's not necessarily how StarSpace46 could help me or help Dunlap Codding. It's more about the stance, I think, is as we come out, how do we harness that group of people, talent, energy, good vibes, karma, whatever you want to call it, and put it out into this beautiful universe we have here encircling our pictures, and and make something of it, right?
Awesome. No, so, I agree 100%.
Now let's buy each other a Coke. We'll all hold hands and sing together, and all that kind of stuff.
This is our kumbaya moment.
It is our kumbaya. It's
looks like.
I gotta say I'm a little verklempt, but we're getting there. It's okay.
It's okay. I'll give you a subject. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss. Doug, how can people find you out and about in the world? Run up, hug you. I don't know, whatever you're cool.
Oh, run up, hug me. It's great. Right now I'm hopping around on crutches, so you might knock me over, but that works as well.
Sure.
No, I mean, I'm, obviously, the easiest way is a number of years ago, put a little website that if I didn't have business cards, I'd tell them to go to imetdoug.com.
Oh, nice.
So if you go to imetdoug.com, you'll figure out it'll be all the ways to get in contact with me. So
imetdoug. That's
youmetdoug.com, imetdoug.com, whatever you want to try, it's there.
That's awesome. Well, Doug, it's always a pleasure. We're going to have to hang out soon in person since we're both good to go, and we can be careful, but still start to get back to what some semblance of normal can look like.
Yeah, and it's been fun. No one knows what to do anymore. Do you shake now? Do you still bump? Do you bump this way? It's
what's going on?
Hey,
Oh, yeah. Well, now everybody looks awkward. It used to be a stereotype that people didn't know how to greet. Now it just looks normal. So, yeah. Small little silver lining.
Looking awkward is always good, right? It always, kind of reminds you that, we all are awkward in our own moments. So,
I've made a lifestyle out of it.
You have. I will say you are the awkward duck. So
I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, no worries.
Doug, take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye. Well, that was Doug. And again, thank you all for joining us and joining Doug, myself, Rodney, when he has to edit all this stuff with StarSpace Chats. Please share this with your friends. If you're seeing this on YouTube, smash the like button, hit the little bell so that you get notified when these pop up so that you can see these things when they show up. Share it to friends, social media, feel free, because we'd love to start seeing more and more numbers here at StarSpace46. And honestly, our attendance is starting to grow. We're starting to kind of get back into that vibe. The dogs are returning, so we are a dog-friendly space, and the puppers are coming back in full force, and boy, do they miss humans. So come on by. You can schedule a tour of the facility. We do have a few offices open. You could become a member, full-time or part-time, and you can even find that office space that's going to really suit you as you want to grow your company. Another shameless plug, even though I'm not wearing it, you can pick up some sweet merch over at merch46.com. And as always, we would love to see you come by. Thank you, Rodney, for doing the editing on the back end of this. Thank you, Doug, for being here. And I've been your host, Jeff Yenzer from Yenzer Consulting Services and StarSpace46. Until next time, we'll see you later.